Pioneer fans, Pioneer men's varsity basketball is live and on the air. We are live here at the main gym at Pioneer, where it is your Pioneer men's varsity basketball team taking on the Bedford Kicking Mules. Pioneer 2-0 on the season, Bedford 0-2. And we are very, very grateful to be joined again by Coach Mike Ahrens. How are you doing, Coach?
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm at a basketball game. I cannot complain. It is fantastic, and things have been going fantastic with this team so far. Big win versus Northville, and they've taken on a couple other conference foes. So I know you got a chance to talk to the coaches. Anything of interest there?
Well, yeah, I got actually a few notes from Bedford. Coach Marion was tied up, but I got just a few things that might be of interest for our listeners. I did a quick glance at their statistics last year, and I'm sure Coach Marion would like to improve on all of them like all coaches. But last year, they shot 48.3% from the floor, which is very good.
Indeed.
Three-point field goal as a team, they shot 28.1. I think Coach would like to get that up over 30 if possible. Free throws is probably better than the average high school team at 66.2%.
Nice.
And he's averaging 7 offensive and 15 defensive rebounds a game for 22. And with the big man coming back, I'm sure that number is going to go up this season.
Absolutely. As a coach, how hard is it? Because you do have, especially making it all the way to varsity, you have a core bunch of seniors and juniors. Then you lose a bunch of key pieces of that team and have to reload. How hard is it to quickly kind of get that mix going and reload and get things going for the next year?
Well, that's a good question. I got the exact answer from Coach Bolin. He lost 8 seniors last year.
Oof, that's a lot. Yeah.
And unfortunately, most of them are his key players. But he's got 7 juniors and 4 underclassmen, and he knows it's a building year.
Yeah.
And we talked at this extensively, and you know, we both know the whole program has to be patient.
Yeah, absolutely.
The coaches, the players are going to hit your lumps and bumps in the road, and always striving improvement every day, even if it's just a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, their JV squad had a really good game versus Pioneers JV, winning at 55-28. So future looking bright there, but I'm sure he'd like to pick up a big win here with the varsity, and Pioneer would like to stay on their winning ways and pick up big SEC red points. As we're counting down about a minute 20. It's one of the few times where typically if you have a freshman game, a JV game, and a varsity game, the varsity is running a little late. This is, I think, the first time I've ever seen the JV end, and we have a little time between the games, but that is what it is. All righty.
I did get the officials tonight.
Excellent.
Mike Clark is a 15-year veteran.
Nice.
And Neil Howie is the rookie, so to speak, on the staff, and he has 12 years.
It's still a lot.
And Dave Sontag, 42. So this is a veteran crew.
Absolutely.
And I shared with them what we do, and you make the call. And they probably thanked me 3 times all the way out of the locker room and said, anything to help educate our listeners about the game.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you're ever watching a game and you think, boy, I could do better than the officials, we need officials. Reach out to the MHSAA. We'll turn it over to John now, our public address announcer, and here's the national anthem. as we are getting ready to go again. This is the first SEC Red game as two out-of-conference games versus Northville and Salem. So typically, does the intensity ratchet up for those conference games because you know each other better? They're big conference points and things of that nature. Have you found that a lot of the time your players are a little more intense during conference games?
Oh yeah, yes, especially early season and your first home game. You know, mom and dad is here, families, friends, and you want to have a good showing on that initial night out.
Absolutely. Ryan starting for Bedford. Powell starting for Pioneer. Cologne starting for Bedford. Freisteller starting for Pioneer.
For the Kicking Mules, number 23, junior center, Max Height.
Height starting for Bedford.
Pioneer, number 21, senior center, it's Tyler Mutinda.
Mutinda starting for Pioneer.
For Bedford, number 11, senior guard, Jesse Damon.
Damon starting for Bedford.
For Pioneer, number 2, sophomore guard, Jordan Harrison.
Harrison starting for Pioneer.
And for Bedford, number 25, sophomore guard, Ish Hockey.
Hockey starting.
Number 11, senior guard, Nelson Sampa.
And Sampa starting for Pioneer.
Coach of Bedford is Jordan Boland, assisted by Mike Hand, Ryan Reitnauer, and Charles Bauer.
As we are getting ready to go.
And for Pioneer, the head coach, Rich Marion. The 13-member coach tonight, the official, Dave Sontag.
As John announcing the officials.
Howie and Mike Clark.
Coach Aaron's already told us about them. We're getting ready to go. Freisteller up to take. Let me see. I had a little piece of paper. I've lost. No, here it is. That picked up over here. Now, too many things on my desk. Here he comes. Sampa has it top of the key. Moves over on the near wing. Gets over to Harrison. Freisteller gets it back to Harrison on the far wing. Harrison over to Powell for 3. And that rims out. Freisteller with the rebound underneath to Mutinda. And that rolls all the way around. It wouldn't go down, but there is a whistle, and that one is going to be on. Looks like he said 2. Heights picks up his first foul. Mutinda to the line, trying to get the first points of the game. First shot up, that rattles around, would not go down. It hit the front, the back, the front of the rim. One more coming for Mutinda to try and break open the scoring with 7:44 left to go. Mutinda puts up the second shot. That one is good. Pioneer with the 1-0 lead. Bedford inbound baseline left as bringing it ahead is Damon. Damon down the far side. Damon gets it over on the near side to Ryan. Back to Damon. Pioneer with some full court pressure. Sampa in the backcourt. They move over onto the near wing to Colon. That knocked away. Sampa in the far sideline. Here comes Pioneer. Over to Freisteller into the near corner. Harrison for 3. And off the rim. Mutinda with the rebound. Up off the rim again. And Mutinda puts it in. Mutinda with 3 points. 3-0 Pioneer with the lead. Over on the near wing. That tipped away. Trying to get it from Cologne. Now over. That goes out the near sideline. As they were trying to get that over to Ryan. Pioneer with 7:05 left to go. Pioneer inbound. Sampa brings it ahead. Sampa coming down the near sideline. Over half court for Pioneer. Pioneer 3-0. Sampa moves it to Mutinda just off the center. Now over to Powell. Powell on the near wing to Sampa. Sampa underneath the Freisteller on the baseline. Freisteller coming back. There is a whistle. No basket. Freisteller picks up his first foul, so that is 1 foul apiece. As that ball inbounded as Cologne bringing it ahead. Now down the far sideline. as Hockey gets it over. That will be out of bounds. Pioneer with the ball. Freisteller to inbound on the far sideline. Well, it's been all Pioneer so far, 3-0. Sampa brings it ahead over half court. Sampa over on the near wing for Harrison. Harrison being watched over there by Hockey. Over to Sampa. Sampa to the free throw line. Sampa spins, puts it up, puts it in. Nothing but net for Nelson Sampa. That's his first points of the game. 5-0 Pioneer with the lead. Bringing it at is Damon. Damon moves it over onto the far side. Fired over by Cologne into the paint. Down on the far side to Ryan. That knocked away Pioneer. Mutinda with an excellent job. Here comes Harrison. Harrison into the paint. Moves it over into the far corner for Powell. Powell puts it up for three. And Powell hits it. Pioneer with the 8-0 lead. And what are you seeing early from this Pioneer team?
Well, Pioneer's in attack mode, and they're playing much more aggressive right now. As soon as they score, they're in the defensive mode with this full court press. I don't know if it's a 2-2-1 or some kind of diamond, but that's slowing down Bedford and making them think.
And this is Pioneer has been on fire their last couple of games. Now we'll see, obviously, as the season goes on. It's still hard to tell where people are at right now. But they have really, this varsity squad has been finding their rhythm these first three games, and it's a lot of fun to see as a Pioneer fan, probably not so much as a Kicking Mule fan, but that's okay. They have plenty of time to try and come back. Bedford to inbound, baseline left, Cologne gets that inbounded to Damon. Damon over on the far side, gets it over to Hockey. Now back to Hockey, coming down, bounce pass, stolen away by Sampa, knocked down. Freisteller has it over to Harrison. Harrison over half court for Pioneer. Over to Freisteller on the near wing for three. Off the back of the rim. Pulled down as Hike got it. Now bringing it ahead. Here comes Damon. Damon over half court. Damon steps back right on the block A. Sampa watching him now over on the far wing. It's Cologne. On the near wing. Damon gets top of the key. Over on the far wing, there's a shot by Hockey. That went off of the rim, pulled down. Powell gets it over to Sampa. Sampa quickly ahead for Pioneer. Harrison on the near wing, dishes it off to Mutinda underneath. Up and in. Mutinda with 5 points. He leads the way for Pioneer, 10-0. Pioneer with the lead. 5:05 left to go. Bringing ahead is Damon. Damon dishes it off over to Height on the far wing. Mutinda watching him. Now over on the near wing is Ryan. Ryan over back to top of the key. Cologne with it there. There's a whistle and a foul. That is going to be Pioneer ball. So Hockey picks up his first foul. It's 2 fouls on Bedford, 1 on Pioneer. Freisteller inbounds it to Sampa. Sampa bringing it ahead. 10-0 Pioneer with the lead. Freisteller on the near wing. Freisteller kicks it top of the key to Harrison. Harrison underneath the Powell. Powell puts it up off the glass. Wouldn't go. Fell off to the near side. Pulled down and coming ahead the other way direction is Cologne. Now Ryan has it. Dishes it off. Draymond top of the key. Damon dribbles to his right now. Moves it over to Ryan. Ryan bounce pass on the near wing to Snyder. Snyder moves it over to Hockey. Hockey into the far corner. That tipped away by Powell. Grabbed, moved back over by Ryan underneath. There's a shot from the free throw line. Pulled down by Mutinda. 4:07 left to go here in the first. Pioneer up 10-0. Harrison in the near corner races into the paint. That is going to be a travel as he encountered some resistance and caused the extra step. How much do you worry as a coach if you're down like 10-0 in the first 4 minutes? Is that something that, how nervous do you get? You have plenty of time, but it's still a hole to try and climb out of.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word worry. You're concerned.
Yeah.
And every possession's important, and you're listening to your assistant coaches right now. You're thinking about substitutions.
There's a three-pointer off the side of the rim by Damon. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. Sampa over half court for Pioneer, down the far sideline. Sampa heads towards the near elbow, underneath to Mutinda. Mutinda puts it up and in. Mutinda feeling it today. He has 7 points out of the 12. It's 12-0 Pioneer with the lead. 3:21 left to go. Bringing it ahead is Damon. Damon for Bedford over half court. Sampa watches him. Damon. Bounce pass. Gets it over to Snyder, top of the key. Handing off to Damon. Dishes into the far corner for Hockey. Hockey hands that off to Damon. Now down the far sideline. Switched off. Harrison now taking him. Damon stutter steps into the paint, puts it up high. And off the top of the glass, pulled down by Mutinda. Mutinda with rebounds, with points. He's all over the place. Quickly ahead to Freisteller, but he couldn't handle it the other direction. Here comes Damon for Bedford. Into the far corner. Grabbing it is Coberly. Underneath and put up by Snyder. Trying to take it away, Harrison. As they're trying to get a jump ball, and they will. So Bedford hits the possession arrow. The inbound baseline right.
You hit a good point right there. Unofficially, Mutinda in my stat book's got 5 rebounds and at both ends of the court.
It's been a fantastic power on the court so far. Taking it, Damon on the near wing, being watched by Sampa. Damon right on the near sideline, moves it top of the key over to Height, but a whistle before the shot goes. Harrison picks up a foul. That's 2 on Pioneer, 2 on Bedford. Inbound baseline right, Hockey. Inbound gets it into the near corner to Damon. Damon moves it over to Snyder, back to Hockey. Hockey works his way around the three-point line, dishes it off over to the far side to Cologne. Cologne moves it over to Damon on the blockades. Now Damon dribbles to his right onto the near wing. Hands it off to Hockey on the near sideline. Powell watching him. He comes top of the key now, moving it over. There's a three-pointer by Damon, and Damon puts it in. Damon with the first points of the game for Bedford. It's now 12-3. Now Freisteller moves it over to Powell on the far sideline for Pioneer. Powell gets it to Harrison, top of the key. Harrison down the side of the paint. That off the rim, pulled down. Quickly the other direction is Hockey down the far sideline. He's going to get called for a push-off. Hockey's going to take his first foul, or no, his second foul, as he gets called on a push-off down the far sideline. 2 for Pioneer, 3 on Bedford as far as the fouls this quarter. Strauss to inbound on the far sideline with 1 minute 42 seconds left to go. Sampa over half court for Pioneer. Down the near side into the near wing. Sampa, top of the key, now shoots a long 2 off the front of the rim. Mutinda trying to knock it down. He gets it over to Lyle. Now Sampa steps back on the far wing. Moves it over to Freisteller underneath to Mutinda in the paint. Knocked away from him. Bedford has it heading the other direction. Here comes Damon. Damon on the far sideline. Now heads to the blockades with Sampa watching him. 1 minute 12 seconds left to go here in the first. Over on the near wing is Coberly. Coberly gets it top of the key over to Snyder for 3. Snyder hits it. So 2 3-pointers has cut the lead, 12-6. Pioneer with the lead. Freisteller into the paint, puts it up with the right hand. Wouldn't go, but a whistle and a foul. It looks like it's going to be on Coberly. Picks up his first foul. That is the 4th on Bedford in this quarter. 3 on Pioneer. Freisteller to the line. Bends the knees, puts up the first shot, and puts it in. Freisteller with his first points of the game. He has 1. Trying to make it 2. It's now back to a 7-point lead by Pioneer. Freisteller puts it back up and in, and that will be 2 points for Freisteller. 50 seconds left to go. That shot from the far corner, off the rim, pulled down by Freisteller. Coming ahead with it quickly, Pioneer. Into the far corner, here comes, up and rattled. Oh, Mutinda puts it in. He has 9 points. He is a force of nature in this game so far. Now Damon has it coming on the blockades over onto the near wing, spins with it, moves it over to Cologne. Cologne comes top of the key. Cologne trying to get it underneath. Weil steals it. Coming the other direction. Here comes Mutinda into the paint. Mutinda spins. He's stripped going to the hole, but a whistle is blown with 17.4 seconds left to go. Coberly picks up his second foul. Mutinda to the line with 17.4 seconds left to go. That up and in. Mutinda hits the free throw, helping that free throw percentage that Coach Aarons was talking about. Mutinda now has 10 points, trying to make it 11. It is 17-6. Pioneer up by 11. Trying to make it 12. Ryan back in for Bedford. Mutinda dribbles, eyes the rim, puts it up, puts it in. He can rebound, he can shoot, he can hit free throws. He's all over the place. Mutinda with an excellent game. That up foul underneath as Bedford pushing it. With 17 seconds left. Now it's 12.5 seconds left. Well, I said he can do everything, and now he picks up a foul. So,
well, 11 points and 6 rebounds in the first quarter. A lot of players would be happy with that over 4 quarters.
Indeed.
And he's out to a good start.
First shot is up and rattles around and out the near side by Williams. And Mutinda has had a good game so far. Next shot coming for Williams. That one up and good. Williams with his first points of the game. That makes it 18-7. Pioneer up by 11. Here comes Sampa with 10 seconds left to go. Sampa on the near wing. Sampa comes top of the key. There's a whistle. And they're going to call Mutinda for the foul. That's his second foul. 5.5 seconds left to go. Mutinda will get a rest, as it is right now Freisteller, Sampa, Lyle, Strauss, and Powell out there for Pioneer. Quickly ahead, Powell knocks it away, over to Freisteller, back to Powell. He puts it up. That was a little too late and way that ended up behind the basket. But Pioneer 18, Bedford 7. And what were your thoughts on that first quarter, Coach?
Well, 6 of Bedford's points are 3-point field goals, so I think Coach is thinking about what do we got to do here with our offense. I made some quick notes. I think they got good movement. They got the floor spread, and they just have to be a little more patient and be a little more aggressive and not be satisfied with a perimeter shot right now. Get in the paint, try to get maybe some 3-point plays that way. But I'm sure he's making some adjustments there. 2 things for Pioneer. I'd really like the aggressive play at both ends, and that makes a big difference. And Tyler, 11 points and 6 rebounds. But all of a sudden now with that second foul, there's a factor. No reason to be alarmed. I would continue playing him and just trust he's going to make good decisions.
Absolutely. With the game he's having, you hate to see that second foul, but it's an aggressive game, and they've been playing well. And certainly at this point, with Mutinda's size and skill, Bedford hasn't found an answer for him at this point. So we'll see how long they can keep that going as Strauss inbounds to Lyle, bringing it ahead. Lyle comes top of the key, moves over to Freisteller on the far wing. Freisteller to Harrison, top of the key now. Harrison over on the far sideline to Freisteller. Freisteller into the paint. Freisteller gets it underneath to Strauss. Strauss trying to go up. That's going to be a jump ball as he went up, and they able to get their hands on it. Bedford has the possession arrow. So inbounding baseline left with 7:44 left to go before halftime is Bedford. 18-7, Pioneer with the 11-point lead. Bringing it ahead is Damon. Damon over half court. Damon being watched by Lyle on the near sideline. Damon gets it underneath to Snyder. Snyder puts it up. That rolls off the near side, the far side of the rim. Popped away. Here comes Treat. Treat gets it over to Lyle. Lyle over half court. Lyle over to Freisteller. Down on the baseline, Freisteller. Over to Harrison in the far corner. And up and in. Harrison puts a three-pointer. That's 21-7. Pioneer with the 14-point lead. Damon has it, top of the key. Lyle watching him. He flips that over to Ryan. Ryan over on the near wing to Snyder. Snyder back over on the far wing to Hammer. Hammer is watched by Strauss. Now Treat tries to reach in to grab it. Ball on the ground. Strauss gets it over to Treat. Treat over to Harrison coming up the near side. Harrison to the free throw line. Dishes off to Lyle. Now Strauss at the free throw line. Floats it up. off the back of the rim and in. Strauss has his first points of the game. Good ball movement there. 23-7, Pioneer with the lead. Bringing ahead is Damon. Damon over on the near sideline to Williams. Williams has it pulled away by Harrison. There is a push and a foul.
That was good defense by Jordan Harrison. He favored the strong side. He stayed low. He had good footwork and forced a turnover.
Fantastic work as Lyle brings ahead over half court for Pioneer. Lyle on the near wing for Strauss. Strauss looks Freisteller, top of the key. Freisteller comes down the far side of the paint, but a whistle and a travel. That will go over to Bedford as they will inbound baseline left. Here comes Damon. Damon being watched by Lyle. Pioneer continuing some pressure in the backcourt. Lyle floats it ahead. That one just a little high. Now coming down the far side, Williams. That dished off and stolen away by Pioneer. Here comes Harrison. Harrison gets it over to Treat, who floats it up off the glass and in. Treat has his first points of the game. He has two, and it's 25-7. Pioneer with the 18-point lead. 5:50 left to go here before halftime. Damon brings it over half court for Bedford. Damon dribbles onto the near wing now. Bounce pass, top of the key, gets it over to Height. Working over Damon in the far corner. Damon being watched by Harrison. Harrison really providing blanket coverage, trying to get in. There's Williams. He has that knocked away, and Treat gets the rebound quickly ahead to Lyle on the near wing. Over to Freisteller for three. That off the front of the rim wouldn't go. Taken down the other direction. Damon has it for Bedford. 25-7 Pioneer with the lead. Damon loses his edge, flips that back over to Ryan. Now on the near wing. Snyder with it. Snyder double team, picks up his dribble. Snyder gets it over to Damon on the near sideline. Damon into the near corner. Damon working down the baseline, double team by Strauss, who steals it away over to Harrison. Harrison brings it ahead over half court for Pioneer, over to Treat, who puts it up and falls off the rim. Freisteller with the rebound wouldn't go. Now coming the other direction, Snyder with 4:47 left to go. Snyder hands it over to Damon on the far wing. Pioneer up 25-7. Now racing down the baseline, that put up and in by Williams. Williams with 3 points. And it's Pioneer 25 and Bedford 9. Quickly up is Harrison. That wouldn't go. He was blocked from behind. Snyder for Bedford. Bounce pass over to Damon. Damon puts it up. Rolls off the front of the rim. And here comes Strauss the other direction for Pioneer. Strauss into the paint. Strauss kicks it off over to Treat for three. He hits it. Cole Treat with 5 points and Pioneer 28 and Bedford 9. Coming ahead, 19-point lead for Pioneer. Damon over half court. Damon watched by Lyle. Damon bounce pass. Oh, flashing ahead. Treat trying to steal it. There's a shot from the free throw line off to the near side. Ryan with that shot. Here comes Lyle for Pioneer. Harrison into the paint. Puts it up and in. Harrison with 5 points. 3 minutes, 43 seconds left to go here in the second. Pioneer with a 30-9 lead, 21-point lead, and Pioneer, even without Tyler Mutinda, is pushing this game forward.
Well, you look at the 30 points and you automatically think of offense, but most of those points have come from the defensive end. Our statistician has let me know Pioneer has 9 steals already.
Wow.
And I bet the majority of it has ended up in points.
Absolutely.
So that aggressive defense pays off, and they're not setting up the offense. When they have the opportunity, they're attacking.
Seems like they're rotating pretty well too. When someone has a pick, someone rotates very quickly, and they've been doing a good job to keep coverage going. And
yeah. Good, and it's a good team play right now. It's just not 2 or 3 players down here playing defense. All 5 are playing, and I don't know how many offensive rebounds Bedford's got, but I know it's not very many, so they're not getting their second opportunities.
It has been a very, very good game so far. Pioneer would like to keep up this pressure. Obviously, Bedford would like to find a way to twist that momentum. Pioneer keeping pressure in the backcourt, as they've been doing that for most of the game. Coming ahead with it, Bedford into the far corner, bounce pass, trying to get it over to Height. Height puts it up. And taking in, so Height with the 2 points. Quickly in, Treat with a shot that knocked away Bedford. Quickly the other direction is Williams has it in the far corner. Sampa steals it away. To add to that steals total. Stop Sampa with a finger roll off the right hand. Puts it in. He has 4 points, and it's 32-8. Quickly, long bomb by Bedford. Shot from the near wing that off of the rim. Quickly Pioneer the other direction. Sampa moves it over to Strauss. Strauss on the baseline. Over on the far wing to Treat. Now three-pointer from straight on by Harrison. And he has 8 points as he hit that three-pointer. 35-11. Pioneer with the lead. Here's Yeager now. Yeager moves it on the far wing for Bedford. Williams with it there. Williams trying to work his way. Top of the key over to Snyder. Snyder moves it over on the near wing to Yeager. Yeager. Top of the key now backs off on the blockades. Treat watching him. Yeager over on the far wing to Williams. Williams trying to get down into the far corner. There is a whistle. And that's going to be a turnover over to Pioneer.
That was another good example of good man-to-man defense. All 5 people, when they're working, that puts pressure on whoever has the ball.
Absolutely. Sampa ahead on the near wing, hands it off to Harrison. Top of the key to Strauss, back to Harrison on the far wing. Harrison gets it to Powell. Powell comes into the paint, dishes it off to Mutinda. Mutinda spins, puts it up and in. Oh my, that is 13 points for Mutinda. Looked like that kind of came off of his hand weird, but still went in with 2 minutes left before halftime. Yeager just inside of half court. Yeager. Watched by Sampa. Yeager picks up his dribble, trying to get to it. Fires it. That went off of Ryan's hands. Held in by Pioneer. Here comes Strauss. Mutinda again saved that rebound. Back over into the near corner. Sampa down the baseline. Over to Powell for 3. Powell, that off the rim. Over to Sampa. Sampa down the baseline for the far corner. That knocked away. That will be Pioneer ball. It is a fast and furious game. They are keeping the pace blistering in this first half. Strauss gets it to Sampa. Sampa moves it on the near wing to Harrison. Harrison thought about the 3. Now gets it top of the key over to Powell. Now Sampa for a long 3. That off the rim. Mutinda trying to get to it. Strauss gets the rebound. Up off the glass and in. Strauss with 4 points. And that makes it 39-11. Pioneer with the lead. Yeager brings it over half court with 1 minute, 11 seconds left to go. Yeager on the far sideline trying to come down. Sampa, blanket coverage on him. Gets that over to Cologne. Cologne, that tipped away by Strauss, out of bounds, and that will be Pioneer's ball. 1 minute left to go. 28-point lead by Pioneer with 1 minute left to go here in the second. Sampa over half court. Powell had on the far sideline, back to Sampa, now on the near wing to Harrison, into the near corner for Powell. Powell down the baseline, into the paint, puts it up off glass. It's a little too hard off the rim. Now here comes Bedford the other direction. Racing ahead, Cologne over half court. Being watched by Powell. Cologne hands it off over to Yeager. Yeager now on the far sideline. Strauss watching him. Yeager loses the ball but gets it back. Passes it very hard over to Williams. Williams into the paint. Off of the rim over to the near side. Height with the rebound puts it up and in, and Height has 4 points. 39, Pioneer quickly up. Shot wouldn't go in. Mutinda with the rebound. That knocked away quickly. The other direction is Williams with 11 seconds left to go. Williams spins. Sampa knocking it away. Foul called on Sampa. He's frustrated with that.
Nelson Sampa gets the foul.
There was a fair amount of fouls in the first quarter, but they adjusted here in the second quarter. Just 3 fouls, 2 on Bedford, 1 on Pioneer. First shot is up and good for Williams. That gives him 4 points, opportunity to make it 5 and get it down to a 24-point lead by Pioneer. Here comes the next shot, up off the front, the side of the rim. Mutinda with the rebound. Here comes Pioneer. Sampa over half court. 4 seconds left to go. Over on the far wing. Here comes Powell for 3. And Micah Powell hits it. He has 6 points on 2 3-pointers. And Micah Powell He's feeling the three-pointer. He didn't get too many in the first two games, but he's feeling it today. And at the end of the first half, it is Pioneer 42 and Bedford 14. What are your thoughts on that first half, Coach?
Well, Pioneer kept the pedal to the metal. Then
Absolutely.
That's a good sign, especially early in the season. Sometimes that momentum will swing very quickly.
Indeed.
But they stayed in the attack mode. Some shot selection was questionable, but they dominated in the paint. And
Indeed.
And they hit some big threes, especially in the corner, and he rotated some players in, and there was no change in the intensity.
Absolutely.
And Bedford's has just got to tighten up the defense any way they can and try to slow them down and chip away and get it close to going into the second half. And a kind of a typical game for a young team.
Indeed.
I think he said he had 7 or 8 juniors, and the rest are sophomores and freshmen. And they've lost 2. They're on the road, and so they have a challenge in front of them.
Yeah, this is a team with one senior, 7 juniors. So they're a team that's obviously going to be much, much tougher next season. 3 sophomore and 1 freshman on the team, which is it's a growing year here. Now? It's easy to say as a coach, hey, ignore that first half, come out like it's 0-0, and let's play our game if you're Bedford, but how hard is that for a player to internalize when not to look at the clock and try not think about that and just work on their game there?
Well, the good players and the smart players, in my opinion, they listen to the coach and the assistant coaches.
Yep.
And right now I'm going over my statistics, and
Yeah.
I may, just as an example, say to a big man, wait a minute, our first 2 games, you're averaging 8 rebounds a game. You have 2 right now.
Yeah.
No, let's focus in on 1 or 2 things here and try to really improve and work. And
Sure.
I mean, I stress intensity, and I say, man, you get tired, get your hand up, and I'll get some fresh legs in.
Yeah.
And we'll get you right back in.
And when the offense isn't working, you can focus on the defense and really put that energy there and try and create offense off of the defense, which is what Pioneer's been able to do for this. Is they've had good press coverage and be able to turn that into offense. Do you want to do the you make the call now? I think we have you got a copy there. Fantastic. So we'll read it. We'll do a little scoreboard report, give you a chance to think about it. Then we'll come back before halftime's over, and we'll give you the answer. And I'll see if I can do a little better this season.
Well, I was thinking about that. I think you were around 75%.
Oh, thank you.
I do have some quickie stats for half if we get to them later.
Please. Let's do the you make the call, then we can go over the
Okay.
stats. Give people a chance to think about it.
Well, as I mentioned, I talked to the officials. I shared this with them, and they're really pleased with it. This is perfectly fitting. I don't know if you're familiar with the new rule changes.
I learned about the first game halfway through the first game. So
you should have called me.
I should have. That would have been brilliant. Absolutely, I should have. But this is a very important one, folks. So focus on this big change this season.
Okay, here's a scenario. Late in the first quarter, A10, to refresh everybody, when I say A, that's one of the teams, B is the other team. A, number 10, is dribbling on the perimeter when B15 is whistled for a hand check foul. The foul is the 5th foul on Team B in the quarter. So what is the call? Is it A, A10 is awarded with a 1-and-1 bonus free throw, or is it B, play will resume with Team B throw in at a designated spot, or could it be C, A10 is awarded 2 free throws, D, play will resume with the result of the second free throw?
All righty, so that is a good thing. Think about that a little bit, and Coach will go over some stats here. And before we come back from halftime, we'll go over the answer here. But you said you had a couple stats there that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have Andy Spencer helping us today at the table. Former player of mine at Central Montcalm, one of the all-time leading scorers there. He played basketball at Hope College. got his doctorate degree at Michigan State. Now him and his wife live here in Ann Arbor. He has 2 children that'll be going here to Pioneer. One is already a baseball player here.
Fantastic.
He knows the game.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate his help very, very greatly. Thank you. And the big question was, how was the popcorn? Because that's all you got the pop. Excellent. If it's in a paper bag, the popcorn's good, right? When you get something other than that, you got to think about it. So,
well, yeah, these are quickie stats comparing both teams and a couple what I think are the major categories. Looking at rebounding first, after 2 quarters, Pioneers got 16, and Bedford only has 7. Free throws, Pioneers 5 for 6, 83% at the line. The kicking mules are 2 for 4, shooting 50%. Pioneers had 5 turnovers. Bedford 8 in the paint points, 20 out of 42. Almost half their points are in the paint, while Bedford has only 6. And Pioneer has 5 threes, so that's 15 points there, and Bedford has 2. But this number maybe stands out more than any. 14 steals in the first half.
Wow, that's a lot.
Man, in my coaching days, 14 in a game would be nice.
Absolutely. Those are more possessions, right? You make a steal, you get another possession, and you go. So that is huge. So let's play just a couple quick messages from the MHSAA. We'll do a SEC Red scoreboard report. Then we'll come back, and we will have the You Make the Call answer. So let's take a quick message from the MHSAA.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
So let's do a quick scoreboard report here. So taking a look, it was back on the 8th. Pioneer beat Salem by a score of 72-42. Skyline beat Ypsilanti Community 65-47. It was Riverview beating Temperance Bedford 56-44, and Romulus Summit Academy North beat Ypsilanti Lincoln 60-38. On the 12th, it was, and that would be today. So games going on today. Dexter is, or Huron's hosting Dexter. Monroe's hosting Ypsilanti Lincoln, and Saline is hosting Skyline. If we take a quick look at the SEC Whites, and we can pull that up and search now. All the way back on December 8th, SEC White. We know about the Skyline Ypsilanti Community. Tecumseh beat Milan by a score of 58-18. It was Southline East beating Pinckney by 4 points, 60-56. And Jackson beat Pontiac by a score of 62-50. There was a Mason versus Adrian in a tournament on the 9th. It was an overtime game. Adrian was able to win that one 71-70. And then Adrian played Milford and won that one. That was at Little Caesars Arena. How cool for high school kids to get to play there. That was on the 11th. And that was Adrian beating Milford by a score of 62-46. Although we got to call a game at the Convocation Center, which was nice. So that was fantastic. Although they wanted us to go down to Little Caesars, that would be fun too. Yeah. So that is fantastic. So let's do the call of the game answers. So again, do you want to read that one more time, Mike?
Well, as I said, in the locker room before the game, I shared this with officials, and all 3 of them got it right. Late in the first quarter, A10 is dribbling on the perimeter when B15 is whistled for a hand check foul. This foul is the 5th foul on Team B in the quarter. You have 4 choices here. Is it A, A10 is awarded with a 1-and-1 bonus free throw, or is it B, play will resume with Team B throw-in as designated spot, or is it C, A10 is awarded 2 free throws, D, play will resume with the result of the second free throw?
So it should be, I would believe, C, that play A10 is a word 2 free throws, because now there's no longer 1 and 1, and with the 5th foul in any quarter, you now shoot 2 free throws, and then that resets at the end of every quarter, which is different from the old 7 to get 1 and 1, 7 fouls get 1 and 1, 10 to get the double bonus.
So C and D are correct.
Oh yes, then D, the play resumes right after the second free throw. Yep, you're brilliant.
And coaches, there's mixed feelings about that. It's adding more strategy in coaching.
Yep. So that's a big free throw that shoots over. Thank you. That's a fantastic. You make the call. Bedford quickly the other direction. 7:44 left to go. Coming down, Sampa steals it away. Here comes Pioneer the other direction. Harrison up into the paint. Finger roll, puts it in. Harrison with 10 points, and it's 44-14. Pioneer has it to a 30-point lead. Damon puts it over on the near wing. There's a three-pointer off the rim by Hockey, and rebounded by Freisteller. Here comes Sampa for Pioneer the other direction. Into the far corner for Harrison. Harrison over to Freisteller into the paint. Freisteller puts it up off the glass, wouldn't go. And Bedford with the rebound. 7:07 left to go here in the third. Damon bringing it ahead for Bedford. 44-14, Pioneer with the lead. Damon, bounce pass, top of the key, over for Height. He puts it back. There's a three-pointer by Damon. That off the back of the rim. Harrison with the rebound for Pioneer. Harrison over half court, moves it over to Freisteller on the far side. Now on the far side of the paint, here comes Mutinda, up and in. Mutinda with 15 points. He continues his great game. That is 46-14. Pioneer with the lead. Damon over half court for Bedford. Gets it over on the near wing to Cologne. Now over on the far wing. Damon working his way around the three-point line. Back over to Hockey. Now right at the free throw line. Sampa trying to knock that away. Battle for it as everyone down on the court. That pulled away from Height. There's a three-pointer off the rim, pulled down, bouncing as Freisteller trying to save it from going out of bounds. Battle for it on the floor. That flipped up in the air by Height. Here comes Sampa. That knocked away as Damon into the paint, puts it up high off the glass. That wouldn't go. And the ball is pretty much a piece of popcorn now. Freisteller on the floor. He flips that over as he was battling a pair of players on the floor. That was Height as well as Hockey. Hockey picks up the foul, and that's something that you see those hustle points, and everyone was diving to the floor, so everyone trying to make those hustle points and get what's happening.
And coaches love seeing that.
Absolutely.
That's a statistic we keep. We call it, just what you mentioned, we call it a hustle point in our defensive stat line.
Yeah, you always love to see the people get, I mean, you don't want anyone hurt, but you love to see people diving, trying to get those balls, trying to keep them in bounds. It was pretty frenetic, so you like to settle it down just a little bit there, but that's okay. It makes for some really exciting basketball for the fans here. As there was a timeout called. Pioneer now to inbound, baseline left. Freisteller has it with 5:53 left to go here in the third. 46-14, Pioneer with the lead. Sampa brings it ahead. Sampa over half court, over on the far sideline. Harrison for three, and he hits it. Harrison now has 13 points, and it's 49-14. Pioneer with the lead. Bringing ahead Damon on the far wing. Damon trying to work against Sampa, moves it over on the far sideline. Working his way in now is Cologne, top of the key. Over on the near wing, Damon coming down into the paint, flips it into the far corner. There's a three-pointer that got stuck. Hockey shoots it. You don't see that often, but it got pinned between the glass and the rim. As
So the call is a jump ball, then you play the arrow.
And that is going to be Bedford's ball. Doesn't happen often, but every once in a while. You can tell that was shot with some ferocity. Damon right at the blockades, working against Sampa, top of the key. Gets that over to Height now. Trying to make his way in. Ryan tipped away. Here comes Harrison. Harrison racing ahead into the paint. Harrison trying to put it up. Off the rim. Contact underneath, and Harrison picks up, draws the foul.
Good defensive job by Jordan Harrison. He read the defense and reacted and got a hand on the ball and a layup opportunity.
Puts Harrison to the line. Ryan picks up his first foul. Harrison bends the knees, eyes the rim, puts it up, puts it in. Harrison now with 14 points. He is 1 point trying out. If he hits this, he can tie Mutinda for the Pioneer lead with 15 points. The two of them have been having a fantastic game. Harrison puts it up. Nothing but net on that one as well. Harrison with 15, Mutinda with 15, Pioneer with 51, and Bedford with 14. Bringing it ahead is Coberly for Bedford. Coming down the far wing into the paint, dishes it off into the near corner. Trying to make his way in is Cologne. Cologne bounces it over to Coberly. Down the baseline, into the paint, puts it up. And it's spun away as Powell got a hand on it. Here comes Freisteller. He gets tied up. That's a jump ball. As getting his hands on that is Hockey. You don't see that a lot. You actually have a Bedford player, Ryan, who's wearing purple shoes. Normally got something that matches your jersey colors there. Still Pioneer colors, that's okay. High schools don't have those shoe contracts yet.
Right.
Trying to pull it away. Mutinda works it away, puts it up. That rolls around, wouldn't go, rolls off the rim. Mutinda to the floor, and that is going to be a foul.
You got to like the way he attacks that rim. He invites contact.
Absolutely.
He does not shy away, and there's been times, especially in the first half, where there's a wall of defenders. He stopped, pulled up, and had to fade away. He's got the footwork. He can adjust that shot to get it off.
First shot missed. One more coming for Mutinda, trying to get 16 points. It's 51-14 Pioneer with the lead. Second shot is up and good for Mutinda. He has 16 points in the game. Bringing it ahead, here comes Coberly. Free throw line, trying to make it inside. That dished off into the near corner. Trying to make his way in is Hockey. Hockey puts it up, and Hockey scores. And it's 52-16. Now Freisteller coming down the baseline, puts it up off glass in the rim. Contact down below. Looks like that's going to be a foul, and that's going to be on Hockey, I believe. That is his fourth foul, one more, and he will have to come out of the game. I don't think anyone else has any more than two. First shot by Freisteller up, and nothing but net. That is his third point. All free throws so far for Freisteller.
What would we have Nate Freisteller for height last year? Was he 6'8"?
I thought he was. He definitely is one of the taller players on the team. So I believe he may well be about that. Up and in, Freisteller makes both of them. Have to see if I can effort that between the games. Coming ahead with it is Hockey. Hockey with 4 fouls, handling the ball, gets it on the near wing, then gets it back. There's a three-pointer shot by Williams. Williams gets his own rebound in the paint. Now he puts it into the near corner. Hockey with the shot, and Hockey puts it in. Hockey with 5 points, coming ahead with it. It's Pioneer 54 and Bedford 19. Into the far corner. Powell puts it up for 3. That off the rim, a little too hard, coming the other direction. Here comes Coberly. Coberly over, gets it back, puts it up, puts it in. Coberly with 2 points, and now it's 54-21. Pioneer with the lead. Over to Freisteller for Pioneer at the near elbow. Freisteller gets it into Mutinda in the paint. Now Strauss puts it up. That knocked away from him from behind, and here comes Cologne over for Bedford. Williams races into the paint, puts it up off glass, that off the front of the rim. Strauss trying to get to that. He ends up on the paint and a whistle.
Well, Hockey's playing a good second half. Coach mentioned in our pregame interview that he's been playing the 6-man role these first couple of games and coming off the bench and really providing a spark and getting more minutes than some of the starters.
He has been good so far. Here comes Freisteller for Pioneer. Into the paint, bounce pass. So over to Lee. Lee puts it up a little too strong. Freisteller gets it back, battle underneath. He was battling back there with Coberly. We'll see who gets the call. Height picks up the call. That is his third foul. Freisteller to the line. That shot is off the front of the rim and falls away. Freisteller with 4 points all on free throws today. He's made up a good defensive play. Next shot is up. Rattles around in home. Freisteller now has 5 points.
Just a number off the top of my head. I don't know why, but I remembered, I think last season he shot 69.5%, so just a hair under 70.
Indeed.
I always set a goal for my high school players to shoot 70 at the line, college players 80, and my professional players at 90.
That makes sense. That is on the far sideline. Williams with it. Williams kicks it, top of the key, over to Cologne. Cologne trying to work his way around the free throw line to the far side. Strauss working on him. Cologne into the paint. Cologne picked up his dribble. Gets it over to Coberly. Coberly down the near side of the paint. Out. There's a three-pointer off the front of the rim. Pulled down. Powell had it, but that pulled away by Snyder. Snyder bounce pass underneath. That up and in. As Cologne gets those 2 points. That's his first points of the game. Knocked away, coming the other direction. Here comes Cologne. Cologne on the far side of the paint at the baseline, puts it up, wouldn't go. That pulled back away. Here comes Treat for Pioneer. 2:05 left to go before the end of the third. That put up and in by Powell. Powell now has 8 points. That's his first points that aren't on three-pointers. Pioneer 57, Bedford 23, as Coberly brings it over half court. Top of the key, over to Snyder. Snyder has that tipped away. Here comes Powell. Powell over to Sampa for Pioneer. Sampa on the near wing, into the paint, dishes off into the near corner. That put up by Treat short. Pulled away by Coberly, the other direction by Bedford down the far sideline. Quickly gets it to Williams into the paint. That put up. It goes in, and the foul on Lee. As that will be Lee's first foul. Now, by the way, as we were talking earlier, that's the first foul on Pioneer this period, 5 on Bedford. Lage comes in for Pioneer, so you got Lyle, Lage, Lee, Treat, and Strauss out there. Williams at the line, trying to make an old-fashioned three-point play, and he succeeds. He has 7 points. 1:30 left to go here in the third. Lyle brings it in for Pioneer, top of the key. Lyle dribbles to his left, over to Lage. Lage picks up, gets it underneath the Treat, who puts it up and in. That's 7 points for Treat, as both of Leighton Lage and Cole Treat's fathers both called their games as they were freshmen back in 2020. That moved over, grabbing it. Hockey with it. There's a whistle. That is going to be a blocking foul. And it's going to be on Harrison, I believe. No, Harrison's not in there. Williams. Okay, that is a offensive foul coming the other direction. Here comes as they'll take it back. Strauss inbound on the near sideline, gets it over to Lyle.
Little confusion on the play. Coach Marion tried to get a guy into the game, but the ball already had been inbounded by the official, so he cannot enter the game to the next dead ball.
Treat on the near wing, gets it back to Lage. Lage over on the far side to Lyle. Lyle working his way around. Gets it top of the key over to Treat. Now Lage on the near wing. Lage gets it back over to Lyle. Lyle just off top of the key. Lyle bounce pass over to Lage on the near wing. Lage dishes it back off to Treat. Treat into the paint. Puts up a floater off the back of the rim. Wouldn't go. Lee with the rebound. Lee trying to get up. That pulled away by Hockey. They're going to say it's a jump ball. Possession arrow points Bedford's way with 36.7 seconds left to go. Cologne inbounds it, now bringing it ahead. Here comes Bedford. Pioneer 57, Bedford 26. As Gardy has it. Gardy moves it over to Williams, top of the key. Now over to Hockey. Hockey off the top of the key, dribbles down to the near elbow. There's a shot by Williams off the rim. Pulled down by Strauss. Strauss brings it ahead over half court for Pioneer. Strauss Moves it on the near wing to Lage. Now over to Lyle down the far side of the paint. Lyle has that knocked away. Here comes Bedford the other direction as Cologne has that pulled away underneath the Strauss for Pioneer. Oh, the layup wouldn't go, and that is the end of the third. So 59-26. That is Bedford's most points in a period. They had 7 in the first, 7 in the second. That would be 12 in the third. Pioneer had at that point 17 in the third. What are your thoughts on that third period there, Coach?
I'm really looking at Pioneer's offense and studying that, and they're doing 3 things right now for 3 quarters anyway. One is attacking, that attack mode on offense. And I'm noticing when they slow it down, they are patient. And I think one possession ago here, they had 4 or 5 passes.
Indeed.
And then I see a lot of dribble penetration. They get a half a step on that defender, and they keep going to the rim if the defense allows them to do that.
I think that's definitely turned into the 5 fouls on Bedford in the third is that dribble penetration. Lots of good things can happen on that. You can make a basket or you can get fouled.
Yeah.
Possession arrow points Pioneers way into the third. 8 minutes left here. In regulation, Pioneer up 59-26. Bedford has their best quarter thus far in the third. Here comes Lyle. Lyle over to Lage on the near wing. Back to Lyle. Comes top of the key. Now over to Treat on the far sideline. Treat over to Lage in the far corner. Back to Treat on the far sideline. Over to Lyle. Lyle dribbles to his left. Bounce pass over to Lage on the far sideline. Lage top of the key over to Treat. Treat trying to work his way. Heavy coverage there by Williams. Over on the near wing to Lyle. Lyle comes top of the key to the free throw line. Bounce pass underneath trying to get to Strauss. Strauss puts it up off the back. Rattles home. That was a much more patient offensive set by Pioneer. Quickly the other direction. Here comes Bedford as Yeager has it. Pioneer 61, Bedford 26. Yeager comes top of the key. Yeager moves it over to Cologne. Cologne over on the near wing to Snyder. Snyder over on the far wing to Williams. Williams puts it up. It's a 3, but a whistle happened beforehand. So basket did not count. Cole Treat picks up a foul for contact underneath. First foul for Treat. Bedford inbounds. Gets it over to Hockey. Hockey hands it off to Yeager. Yeager right at the blockades. Yeager all the way over into the near corner for Williams. Williams for 3. That off the rim. Pulled down by Lyle. Quickly Lyle the other direction for Pioneer. Pushes it to Strauss. Strauss up, and the layup is good for Strauss. He put a finger roll up and in. 8 points for Strauss, and it's 63-26. Bedford down on the baseline trying to put it up. Lee gets it blocked away as that was Williams underneath. Lage takes a quick stop. Williams goes past that over to Treat on the far sideline. Treat gets it over to Lyle. Lyle, heavy coverage by Williams. Williams trying to blanket him. Lyle gets it over to Treat on the far sideline. Treat around the three-point line. Now Lage into the paint, dishes it off, and picked up by Treat. Treat, top of the key to Lyle. Now on the near sideline is Lage. Lage skies it all the way over to Lyle for 3. That off the rim, pulled down, and grabbed by Snyder, heading the other direction with 6 minutes left to go. Over into the far corner, Cologne with it. Now gets it over to Hockey, who puts it up and puts it in. Hockey with 7 points. He and Williams lead the scores for Bedford. Strauss, top of the key, now moves it over 63-28. Pioneer with the lead. Strauss in the paint, trying to put it up. Lots of pressure underneath. Here comes Cologne the other direction for Bedford. Cologne over half court. Cologne comes top of the key, moves it off over to Yeager. Yeager steps back, gets a little room to work. Now moves it over to Hockey on the far sideline. Hockey, top of the key, that moved underneath. Got it over to Cologne. He gets a foul as he was in the paint trying to go up. 5:22 left to go. That's Lage's first foul. Leighton Lage picks up a foul. That is 2 on Pioneer, none on Bedford thus far in this period. Cologne trying to make it an even 30 for Bedford. First shot is up and falls away. He'll have one more to go.
For Bedford, number 23, Max
Height comes in as well as Coberly. Next shot here by Cologne. Bends the knees, puts it up, puts it in. As Cologne has 3 points. Hafner comes in for Bedford as well. 5:22 left to go here in the fourth. 63-29, Pioneer with the 34-point lead. Treat inbound, baseline left. Treat gets it over to Lyle. Lyle brings it ahead for Pioneer over half court. Lyle, top of the key now. Lyle picks up his dribble, moves it over on the far sideline, coming down the baseline. That put up by Lage. Wouldn't go off the rim. Coming back the other direction is Bedford. Coberly into the paint. Coberly puts it up and off glass and in. He'll get an and one. So the basket is good for Coberly. Lee picks up the foul. That is the second foul by Lee. Pioneer now with 3 fouls. Coberly in to take the shot.
It's a great opportunity for some players to get some valuable minutes here of experience.
Absolutely. Coberly puts it up, puts it in. This is the experience that when you have injuries or things happen later on in the season, these playing minutes will be huge. Lyle over on the near wing, that over to Rink now. Lage gets it over to Lyle. Top of the key to Rink. On the near wing is Lage. Back to top of the key to Rink. Now over to Lyle on the far wing. Lyle over on the baseline, gets it back. Lyle for 3. Rattles around and home. Lyle puts that in. He now has his first points. He has 3, and it's 66-32. Coberly quickly the other direction. Gets that over to Hafner. Hafner, top of the key. And moved over by Height, stolen away. Here comes Treat. Treat comes into the paint, puts it up, off glass and in. Cole Treat has 9. Makes it 68-32. Pioneer with the lead. Bedford, Coberly into the paint. Coberly puts it up. That is going to be a traveling. That'll go back to Pioneer's direction. Harrison comes back in for Pioneer. He's going to give Lyle a breather. 4:13 left to go here in the fourth. 68-32. Pioneer with the lead. Harrison over half court. Harrison over on the near wing to Rink. Rink works his way around the three-point line over to Lage. Harrison on the far sideline. Back over to Rink, just off top of the key. Back over to Harrison now, trying to get it on the far side of the paint. Treat trying to pass it through. That hit the net. Coming the other direction is Bedford. Grabbing it is Ryan. Ryan moves it over. Coberly takes it. Coberly as Leighton Lage watching him. Moves it over to Hafner on the far wing. Hafner to the free throw line. Gets that back over to Height. Now Hafner on the far wing working against Harrison. Hafner, top of the key. Treat came over to double team. Now Coberly has it on the near sideline with 3:30 left to go. Coberly. Right, those purple shoes really match the baseline perfectly. There's a shot that goes off the side of the rim by Ryan. That was a 3-point shot. Ryan trying to get his own rebound, goes out of bounds. That will stay Bedford ball with 3:18 left to go.
Those are some good minutes by Cole Treat right there.
Absolutely. Treat Lage getting some good time in there as well as Coberly has it on the far sideline. Being watched by Rink, that moves over. The pass stolen away by Harrison, coming ahead. Here comes Lage, up and rolls in. Leighton Lage has his first points of the game, and it's 70-32. Pioneer with the lead. Coberly brings it over half court. Coberly bounce pass over to Chavis. Now into the paint. Hafner with it. Hafner kicks it out to Coberly for 3. Coberly puts it in. Coberly with 7 points. He now has the tie with Hockey and Williams for the lead for Bedford. Into the paint for Pioneer. Lee has it. Lee trying to put it up. Lee gets his own rebound, but down to the court. Here comes Bedford the other direction. Quickly over to Coberly. Coberly into the paint down the far side. Stolen away by Lage with 2:20 left to go. Pioneer 70, Bedford 35, and a whistle as Lage goes over half court. Coberly picks up the foul. Lage goes off. He gets a good breather. As in is Gary for Pioneer. And Karsh in as well. Lage has it. Top of the key. Lage moves it over to Karsh. Karsh for three. That one just a little long. Pulled down, coming the other direction is Hafner for Bedford. Gets it over to Coberly. Coberly has it tipped away by Rink, but able to keep it in. Coberly moves it over to Ryan, top of the key. Ryan into the paint. Over to Hafner for three. That rattles around and home. Hafner with his first points of the game, and it's 70-38. Lage brings it forward for Pioneer with a minute 50 left to go. Lage over half court. Lage gets it over to Rink on the far wing. Rink back over to Karsh, top of the key. Lage on the near wing. Lage over to Karsh. Now back over on the far wing. Rink for three. That one just off to the near side. Picked up, coming ahead with it with 1:30 left to go. Here comes Bedford as Ryan has it. Moves it back over to Coberly. Coberly just inside of the P for Pioneer. He's calling out signals in no hurry with 1:19 left to go. Skies it, trying to get it into the near corner for Hafner. That pass just off the mark. Pioneer will inbound. Gary to inbound. A very successful football season as well. Coming ahead, here comes Lage. Lage ended up being a very good running back for the football team about halfway through the season. Lage puts up a three-pointer. That off the rim, pulled down and out of bounds. 1:01 left to go here in the fourth, 70-38. Pioneer with the lead. Bedford to inbound as Hammer brings it ahead. Coberly coming over. Coberly over half court. Coberly comes over, skies it over into the near corner for Hafner. Hafner for three. That off the back of the rim. Karsh tips it back out, but Hafner gets his own rebound. Moves it over to Ryan. Ryan on the far elbow. Gets it back. Three-pointer by Hammer. That again off the back of the rim. Pulled down there by Shivas. Now coming ahead. Here comes Lage. Lage disses it off into the far corner. There's Rink for three. That off the rim. Quickly Coberly the other direction with 24 seconds left to go. Coberly into the paint. Drops it back over to Hammer. Hammer into the near corner. Over to Coberly. Dribbling through traffic. And Coberly puts it in. Coberly with the team high 9 points. 10 seconds left to go. Here comes Lage over half court. Pioneer with a 30-point lead, 70-40. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Pioneer with the win. So Pioneer wins it 70-40, 30-point win. Any final thoughts on that game there, Coach?
Yeah, a couple of notes here, and we may have a couple of statistics. Looking at Bedford first, as we mentioned, it's a youth team right now.
Indeed.
And they have to learn defense is going to win games. And I was really glad to see Coach played man-to-man most of the game. There's about 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They switched to a zone. But you learn so much more when you're playing a man-to-man defense and taking pride. So when the younger players get a little more experience, and
Indeed.
Every game and every minute's important, they'll be going in the right direction. As I mentioned earlier, Pioneer, if you look at offensively, again, they did so many things well. They attacked, they used patience when needed, they dribble penetrated, and kept turnovers to a minimum. So a good win for Pioneer, and Bedford's is going to learn and grow every game.
Indeed. Well, a good way to start off the SEC Red season for Pioneer. As we thank you for your time, Coach, and you'll be back Friday, I believe, with us for the Varsity Women's match versus Skyline. We're very excited to see that. There is one programming note: the Pioneer men's varsity hockey game that was Thursday is actually going to be tomorrow. I've already agreed to do a coaches show for Michigan women's hockey. That'll be tomorrow. So we won't be able to cover the game down in Bedford. Please forgive me, but we had already made commitments on our schedule. So we won't have anything Thursday. We'll have the coaches show tomorrow. We will be back on air Friday with the JV game at 5:30 for the women versus Skyline and Varsity around 7 o'clock. And Coach Mike Ahrens will be with us on that game.
Well, I'm excited about that because, remember, I coached with Lovejoy at Skyline. And
Absolutely.
now he's moved over to the girls program, and he's got a daughter in 8th grade who'll be playing next year. And,
That's awesome.
I sent him an email today, and I'm excited to see him lead the women's program there now.
That'll be fantastic. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. We'll be back on there with the Michigan Women's Hockey Coaches Show tomorrow. Final, Pioneers 70, Bedford 40. Thank you, and have a great